Today's video is about another commercial shoot I did with Melange by Pistis. The last time I did one, I showed you some tips you need to go around or you need to know just to make sure you have better e-commerce looking images. I think people resonated with it, they wanted more, and I'm back with another one. This is going to be a behind the scenes. I shot a lot of content using a GoPro this time around, and I would want to share it with you guys. I'm going to jam them together, so please forgive me if they cut from one point to the other, but all I want you to understand is for whatever it is that I did, it will work every time whenever it is you want to recreate something like this for anybody. The first thing you need to think about is the space. I had enough space to do whatever I did. Majorly the space is quite important. I think I should show it in that I don't own a studio space anymore, so there will be less studio content, or maybe if there are any studio content at all, I'll probably be doing that in another person's studio. All the same, the space to which you're shooting is very important. So whenever it is you approach with an e-commerce shoot, if the people don't have the space, I'll recommend you go rent a space that is big enough to be able to house this particular setup I'm about to talk about. So thank you so much for joining on today's video. Like, subscribe, and let's see how this particular video and this content reaches out to a number of people, just so I can know that okay, fine, this will work and I'll do more of them. So I want to talk about lighting. It's always about light. Anything that has to do with photography has to deal with light, and if your lighting is not great, your photos don't look good either. Today's video I used 3 lights as usual. The previous video I also used 3 lights. There's some new modifications to this, like how the screen gem is now a 5x7 screen gem, and this time around I modified the AD 1200 Pro with a 130cm reverse umbrella and a white inner diffusion where I can get less specularity with regards to highlights. So that's passed through the 5x7 screen gem to give me the softest light as possible. The transfer of the lights from the top to down, obviously there's going to be inverse square law playing in there, but I had the softest light possible for the kind of broad lighting I was looking for. So top down, I achieved it. I needed a fill to make sure the background was lit evenly, so I added an AD600 to bounce into the tallest ceiling I've ever shot here in Ghana. I increased that. I think the power was way over to 1/4 or something. I'm not really sure. I always say the power doesn't matter provided you know what you want your lighting setup to look like. So but that particular fill had the highest power just because it had to travel all the way up there to bounce back to make sure I had my backdrop filling I had my backdrop equally lit. The other light was coming in from camera right, which had to fill the lower bottom or the lower end of the subject I was shooting, just because I was shooting with overhead lighting in some sort of broad lighting technique. Obviously I'm going to have lower light source on the ground, so I had to use that. The idea of using the reverse umbrella on the AD 1200 is because I wanted to reduce contrast in my image. As much as there was going to be a lot of contrast, I wanted to reduce it just so that attention is paid fully on the outfit I was photographing. With fashion shoots, you need the softest and the cleanest lights possible, in my best opinion, just so that what you're selling, which is the outfit, will be translated correctly to clients who are looking out for them. Using directional lighting and all becomes more of a creative choice, and I'm not saying it won't work. It will work perfectly because I've been talking about how you can use different lighting to make sure your shoots look great. All I'm trying to let you understand is with commercials, what I have come to understand, what I've come to realize, what I've come to deduce is the fact that we want to sell the outfit, not the model, not the creativity. So for all you know, you need the cleanest possible looking image just to sell the outfit. So these were my 3 lights that helped me in this particular video. I know someone will ask what the video lights are doing, and the video lights were helping the videographer shoot content right at the same time I was also shooting my pictures. I also grabbed a few contents for video just so I could show you guys, so I'll probably see if I can do that and put it up on here just so you can enjoy what I did alongside the videographer. I used the Canon 5D Mark IV. I still have it. It's been 7 years and counting, and I don't want to throw this bad boy away. Someone will ask, why am I still using this particular camera? I'm using it because of the megapixel. I don't have an R5 yet or anything that has to do with a higher megapixel. This is the next thing to a higher megapixel that I have with me, and it's a 32 megapixel camera, and it works perfectly because if I crop, I can still get my details. With fashion shoots, you're looking at cameras with higher megapixels, so if it's best to own the new R5 or any camera with a high megapixel. Can be Sony, can be Canon, any camera brand that works for you. Because when it comes to cropping in, you will need to crop. I paired it with the Canon 50 initially when the client wanted a particular look, wanting to elongate the model and not having them shortened. Later, we agreed on me using the H5 because the H5 gives a very good compression and it makes the subject look the way she's supposed to look. So all I had to do was sort of take some images, show the client, let her understand that this particular look will work, and we sorted it out and we were on the 85 throughout. So I used the 85 throughout the shoot after we solved the 50mm issue. One thing I quickly want to mention is you need a lot of C-stands if you're not going to shoot in your studio. Even if you're going to shoot in your studio, you need a lot of C-stands. You need to own a lot of heavy duty stands just so that every equipment you own will be safe and secure whilst you're doing this particular shoot. I did say we tried something new. We decided to move from a seamless backdrop, which we've been using for quite a number of time. I mean, it makes it easier, it's seamless, right? And we decided to use a canvas backdrop. Shout outs to Pixel Junkies. I'm going to leave their handle down in the description box. They provide most of my canvas backdrops for every shoot I have done on this particular YouTube channel. So if you've ever needed a canvas backdrop, check down in the link below. Probably go grab yourself one. In my last video, I marked on the floor X just so the model could stay within a particular position for all of the shots. I did same with this particular shoot. I taped instead of marked because of the canvas and I couldn't cut it off when I was done. So I taped on the floor with some paper tapes just so the model could stay within a particular range where my lighting will stay consistent. This particular trick helps a lot when it comes to editing in post-production, because then you can sync over whatever settings you start with the very first image all over to the very last image, just because you know your lighting conditions were the same from start to finish. When you don't practice this and your model moves all around, you're going to have inconsistent lighting. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve with, say, broad lighting or overhead lighting, there are points where you have more light, there are points where you have less light. You obviously see your backdrop change because inverse square law comes into play. When the light hits your model, the fall off will hit the background. When she moves away a little bit, that fall off will be seen on the background, and that inconsistency was something I was not looking out for, because I needed to make sure the work was easy right after I was done shooting, just so that it becomes easier when it comes to editing. Editing is also a very prioritized part when it comes to e-commerce, because you don't have to do too much. When you color grade, you're changing the outfit color and they don't sell truly what you want the clients to see. So this has taught me a lot about shooting e-commerce, and moving forward, whatever it is that I know or learn or do new, I'll probably share with you guys. I know I'm going to have a question where someone asks if the video lights influenced or what are the video lights doing there. I've already mentioned it earlier, but yeah, the video lights influenced a little bit of what I did. I think I saw that when I was trying to edit, especially the hard lights in the video. I already told the video guy to remove it, but you know, video guys, right? But all the same, it did just a little bit, nothing extraordinary to sort of take away from all the lighting setup I did. Without the video lights, my lighting will still have remained consistent. And I think with practice, with a lot of practice, if you're trying to do something like this, if you're trying to look for clean looking, low contrast, well, there was contrast, but low because a lot of lights came to play, a lot of reduction of highlights and highlights and shadows with diffuse light, with white inner diffusions, with diffuse highlights and all. Try this particular setup and let's see how it goes. Let me know down in the comment section below if you've done something like this before, what you did while shooting e-commerce, how the images turned out, and let's have a conversation down there. I'll see you in my next video, and yes, I know I'll talk about what happened and why I've been away from YouTube. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe.